Got a question for Mr. McGuire. You mentioned that during a time when Twitter was growing rapidly, one of the problems the company was facing was increasing complacency. How did you begin to see the signs of that? Did your people tell you about it? Did you see something in the numbers that alarmed you? And in what ways did you respond to that? Thank you.
So I don't know if actually complacency is the word I would choose. One of the ways that Twitter grew was through acquisition. And so what we did is we marched across the country and we bought 15 other companies over a period of 6 or 7 years. And that created some unique challenges. And part of the unique challenges that happen is if you buy a company whose culture is X and your company is Y in terms of culture, that creates something that's very difficult. Because I will tell you that inside of a company, only one culture can live. Even if you have a facility that's 1,000 miles away, as we did, really, companies in order to function have to have one culture. And so that is a particular challenge of using acquisition as a means to grow. Particularly inside of a retail environment where a particular mission to a customer is a key component of what you're trying to do. And how that manifests itself is in lots of ways. You actually find different parts of the country performing in terms of the business very differently. I mean, this is a case where numbers will start to give you a clue as to what's happening, but then you have to ask yourself the question, why? And it's one of those things that's very apparent to me now, looking back on it. I will tell you that at the time, for each successive acquisition, when you're in the throes of it, to be able to step back and say, gee, we're having a culture issue, wasn't as clear when you're in the middle of it. And it's one of the things that I think came with experience, and as we actually got better at doing acquisitions, we stopped having less trouble. Today, I would tell you that aside from all the normal filters you go through for an acquisition, does it have cash flow, does it meet your strategic objectives, does it do all those kinds of things, I would tell you that at the end, the very primary filter at the end was, are the cultures going to fit? Because if they're not, that's really hard to do. Everybody thinks that getting a deal done is all about the legal and the money. The legal and the money is actually pretty easy. So after the lawyers and the bankers go home, and you actually have to now operate the thing with people, that, because again, you're down to people, you're down to team, and they need a shared vision and a common goal. And if you haven't done a good job communicating and over-communicating that, particularly at that time when people are nervous and scared, right? Nervous and scared people don't make the best decisions. Another point of advice from many mistakes. It's hard to do, but that piece of people not gelling, or the culture piece not following through to every inch of the company really became a litmus test for success. And I would tell you there were chains we bought who bought the culture lock, stock, and barrel, and they thrived, they took off, they did great. There were chains that we bought whose culture was so different from the company's that we would spend tremendous amounts of time and energy and money trying to get that fixed, and and you would just see it be in fits and starts. They never really landed, and so it would just show up in the performance. Does that answer your question?
Yep.